Alright, what is up guys? Today I'm going to go ahead and apologize first for the sound. As you can tell, it is a beautiful rainy day here in central Indiana. Today I'm going to be replacing the alternator on this 2002 GMC Yukon. First, pull off your battery cables. These are both 5/16. Alright, once you get these undone, you want to make sure that you have them both where they're not going to bounce up and hit the terminal. Next, you want to come over here and remove this screw. Will loosen your intake. It helps get it out of the way, makes the alternator a little easier to get to. There's one hose clamp right there and one over here. Goes right here into your intake. Once you get those loose, you just give them a little wiggle, make sure it's loose, and then this will just pull right off. And this whole thing comes out. Alright, next you're to your alternator. Go ahead and remove this wire. Kind of a pain to get out of there. Does not help that I have extra short arms. Just a second, I'm going to get something to stand up on. Alright guys, I was able to get this disconnected. It's got a little clip right here on the bottom. You just pry up on that and able to pop it up out of there. Next, come down here to this little wire holder. You got to open it. That connects, I believe that's your ground. I'm not sure. I think it's your ground. You got to take off this nut right here, and then you'll be able to take this wire off. Now next, got to come down here, removing this fan shroud. Just kind of pop this thing up. That grommet should come right out just like that. There should be 4, but this Yukon only has 3 on it. There should be one right there, and then over here there's one right there. You can see another one over here in the corner. Get both those out. You come up here. There's one bolt right here. There are 2 bolts actually. This one right here, 10 millimeters, comes right out. Then there's another one right over here on top of the radiator. Alright, now come over here and this fan shroud will be free. This little, probably have to pull this out of here, should be able to pop it out by hand. Then this other little tube comes up out of here. And this whole thing will just come up and out. Now, as you can see down in there, it makes it a lot easier to get to the alternator right here. Next, we're going to come over here and take this belt off. Well, not really take the belt off. We're going to release the tension put on by this tensioner, and then we'll be able to take the belt off the alternator pulley. This nut down in here is an 11/16. Alright, and once you get that off, you can remove this wire. What I always like to do is put the nut back on this stud until I'm able to put the new alternator back on. Now over here on your belt tensioner, you can't really see with this it's in the way, but down here you can see I'm on the it's a belt tensioner. It's got a little hex nut on the front of it. It is a 15 millimeter. And you turn it like you're tightening, and you'll just be able to take this belt right off. You'll be able to loosen this back. And I like to just leave my ratchet right there. It kind of holds everything a little better, just going against that. So now you're able to come over here and just kind of wiggle your belt off of your pulley. Kind of just lay it down here, that way it doesn't fall off everything. But okay, now we got to take these 2 bolts out. Let me go get a socket and I will get those taken out. Alright, I went and grabbed a socket. These are both 15 millimeter also. Now once you get those 2 bolts out of there, you're able to just kind of, you might have to peck on it with a hammer to get a pry bar under it. But and this alternator comes right out. You probably want to save that because wherever you bought your alternator from, more than likely they charge you a core charge, and you can take that back and get some of your money back. Now once you get this out here, you'll need to pull this off. Grab a socket. Looks like it is it's a 10 millimeter. Just want to zip this off. And come over here, put it on your new one. Make sure it's in somewhat of the same orientation, or else it may hit. Doesn't have to be exact, but close is definitely going to help you out. And go ahead and slide this little protector back up on here. Snap it over. Alright, now once you get to this point, you're going to have to come in here, and there are, let me fix the camera real quick. There we go. Once you get down in here, there are two little spacers in here. I'm not sure if you can really see them or not. You have to tap them from this side with your hammer to get the new alternator to go down in there. They're just spacers, they help it line up. Alright, and then your new alternator will just drop down in here real easily. You take your alternator bolts that you had taken out previously. I can't really do it with one hand. Okay. Kind of get them started. Good there. You come over here. This one rotate real easy. Alright. Finally getting the right socket put on. Come over here and give it a little ugga-duggas. We'll tighten those spacers back down. They're going to get tight really soon because you hammered those spacers out. So it's going to feel like you're not putting a lot of torque on them, but as far as I'm concerned, you really can't get these too tight. I mean, don't be dumb and put a big breaker bar or a 1/2 inch impact on them, but you can get it pretty snug. I like to go ahead while I'm up here, hook up my plug. Should just go right down in there. And come down in here. And hook up your ground. Make sure that wire sits in there like it's supposed to, coming out the top. Makes things a lot easier doing it now rather than tightening this down and then figuring out it's wrong and taking it all back apart. I've done that several times in my life. Get that put on. It's a bit too snug to get down here with the impact, so just go in here with a regular ratchet and give her some ugga-duggas. Tight, but not too tight. Just the ground. Get that all shut back in there. Maybe easier said than done. Aha! My bad. There are small alignment things down in here that this fitting has to go into before it will shut. There we go. Get that pushed over and get snapped shut. Alright, now you're ready to get your belt put back on. I'm going to shut off the camera. This is pretty difficult to do with two hands, let alone trying to attempt it with one. Just make sure, right here in the front of your car, well, this is a Yukon, but it will show you the routing of your serpentine belt. Make sure you do that exactly as it's shown. You don't want to be turning anything the wrong direction. Now once you get your serpentine belt installed, it's time to put your fan shroud back on. So what I like to do is I like to start these bolts up here at the top. Makes it just kind of hold everything. Then you can just kind of slide it back together kind of with one hand. I'm trying to do it with one hand. It's a little difficult. Not one to line up for me. Might have to two-hand it. Got to make sure these are pulled out also, or it's not going to make life very easy. Make sure those are pulled out. Got to get my step stool back because my short little legs can't reach up in the engine compartment. But all right. Any other time, if I wasn't recording this would literally fall right together and make life so easy. Aha! Found what I was missing. There's this little pin right here. Don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but right there. Just kind of slide that in there, make sure it goes through both of them. And then just push that top piece down and it'll lock it in. Alright. Now coming over here to the driver's side. Might have to close this thing a little. Once again, trying to get that pin lined up. There we go. Alright. Probably got that pin lined up. I don't know if you can see it down in there or not. It's right there. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. You go in here. Right there. You really got to make sure these go through both. I'm having a little problem with it. Seems as though it just wants to kind of go through the top one and then push the bottom one away. So definitely want to make sure you get those both in there. Alright, then next all you got to do is put your intake back on. Just 2 hose clamps, so I'm not going to show you that. Everybody, thanks for watching. This is a new channel I'm just now kind of starting to start up. Go ahead and give me a subscribe. It's mostly going to be Jeep related stuff. This is my 88 YJ with a small block and all the goods. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some small maintenance videos here and there too. So I really appreciate you watching. Please subscribe and thanks.